that's probably my best story from back in the day, man. With the Pepperados.
All right.
Yeah, let's pass on the good guideline story. How are you, Tom?
What's up, man?
Right, good.
We're here to tell some funny stories when we were younger. Actually,
Right.
when I was a lot younger. And a couple motorcycle stories, some old hippie stories.
Good. What do you want to talk about first? Your hippie stories or your motorcycle stories?
It don't matter. A friend of mine, Eddie, had a school bus. I think it was like a 58 school bus or something, I think. We went down to DC to protest the war, the Vietnam War.
What year was that?
I'm thinking it was 70, 71 maybe, something like that. So we go down, and the bus was a big hit by the Washington Monument. It's a big brown bus with peace signs and shit on it. And we're there for the weekend. We're coming back, and we're by Camden on the turnpike. And all of a sudden we pull over, people are taking pisses, and people drinking that wine out of the squeezy wine things, you know, throwing frisbees and playing.
And you're on the turnpike?
On the turnpike.
Literally
yeah.
stopped.
And we're going north. You know?
Right.
And everybody going north, like Massachusetts, Connecticut, Jersey, everybody's going that way. So we pull over, all of a sudden all these other people start pulling over to talk to us and hang out. Before you know it, we got like literally hundreds of people on the side of the turnpike. Just hanging out, throwing frisbees, bullshitting, everybody's talking. Next thing you know, we figure let's stop the traffic on the turnpike. That'll make a statement.
But you're not stopped on the turnpike.
No, we're on
yet.
the shoulder. So Eddie like takes off the school bus. And it has like a granny gear. It's going real slow, and the cops come up in there. And they hit Eddie with the billy clubs. His hand was out the window. They got Eddie, and Eddie got pissed off. He turned the bus sideways, and all these people just stopped. Before you know it, there's like everybody coming north stopped. And then we jumped over the other side of the turnpike and started a fire on the other side of the road, a bonfire, and stopped traffic both ways on the turnpike. It was on it was in the New York Times. They had pictures of the bus and everything.
Right.
And we knew it wasn't going to last. We all got arrested. Yeah, and it was kind of crazy, man.
How many
to
miles?
go to court, you know.
Right.
And all these people came and they brought us food and said we could stay at their houses, and everybody was real nice and everything. And then we went back for our court appearance, and the one guy, I can't remember his name, but he was, and back then it was all like free love. Everybody was like screwing everybody else. And he was in the bushes screwing some girl outside the courtroom, and he got arrested for that. On top of everything else, fornication in public, and we're all like clapping when he came in handcuffs and stuff.
So he got arrested, and then he got arrested again.
Got arrested again, yeah.
Well, I was basically riding alone. And then when I'd hook up with the white crowd, there was always that prejudice thing. It always came up. You see what I'm saying? And then, you know, that's basically how I got my name, because they were saying, you know, which George are you talking about? Oh, Spade George. You know, it sounds better than Nigger George.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? See?
Yeah.
So it evolved into that, and you know what? It's just stuck. And now I'm proud of it. You know, right on. Spade George. You know, let's call a spade a spade. You know what I'm saying?
When I had my first Harley, that Super Glide, and it was all stock, had a Bendix carburetor on it, bone stock. So there's this guy, Stumpy, who lived in Long Branch, and he was like a real motorcycle guy. I was just a kid, I didn't know nothing, you know. And he's in there with a bunch of real motorcycle guys, you know.
Scary guys.
Scary guys, yeah. I'm in there and I'm drinking a beer. So I go to the bathroom and I think he said something to me like, "Hey, what's your name?" I said, "Oh, my name is Tommy Granger. I live on so and so, you know." And he goes, "Don't tell people where you live, you fucking asshole." He says, "You know," I said, "I know where you live." You're so fucking stupid. He's telling me all this shit, and I'm like, "What? I'm stupid?" He goes, "Yeah, you're a fucking idiot. What's the matter with you?" He goes, "You're so fucking dumb. I was going to steal your carburetor. First I was going over to steal your motorcycle." So I go over there and I'm looking up. I see you there, walking around. Your motorcycle's down there. I said, "This guy's such a fucking idiot. I can't take his bike." But he just put a shovel at top end on his pan head, and he had a Bendix carburetor. So then he was to steal the carburetor. fuck it, I'll just take the carburetor off the bike. This guy's a fucking idiot. So he goes, for some reason I felt sorry for you because you're so stupid. I go back the next night, take the carburetor. And I figured, fuck it, I'll just see what kind of jets you're running. So he looked under the bowl and there were numbers on the bottom. So you could see what jets I was running. And he never stole the bike. And I asked him, I said, how come you didn't take the bike? He says, because all I had was a bike at that time, and I drove it every day. I mean, if it was snowing, that was all I had.
It's your car.
He says, I saw you riding in the snow. I said, this guy can't steal his bike. You know, this is all he got. You know, and then we got to be friends. You know, and then unfortunately he passed away, but he was always like funny dude.
Tommy Granger is a bad motherfucker.
Oh my God.
And he's so on point.
So I used to try to get my bike through it. It was a big thing to get you to put mufflers on it, hang a horn on there with wire ties and all this shit. And they had a stupid thing where your seat and your handlebars couldn't be like 15 inches from your seat, you know, and they had this stick. It was 15 inches up going this way to your handlebars. So I pulled my handlebars all the way down, you know, and you know, it's a rigid frame, so it's a little bit of a way from there to the riser and to the handlebars and everything, but it was under 15. It was fucking great, you know. So I'm like, man, I worked on the bike for like 2 days to get it ready with all this stupid shit hanging on a high beam switch and horn and all this shit, you know. But it was all good. It was that pinhead, you know. So I go there. You remember that bit with the guy? The guy comes out at the end. I'm waiting in line, like, oh man, I hope I get somebody young, because there was 3 lanes to get in there.
It was a really stressful thing.
It was crazy stress.
I
Crazy
remember waiting
stress.
online for,
Yeah,
for
and you want a young guy. You don't want that.
You'd
That
sit
guy was
online,
never
you'd
nice.
be testing your horns.
Yeah,
you'd be
everything.
Like, yeah.
And then but as soon as shit, you get to the fucking thing with the guy, the horn don't work anymore.
Right,
It's
yeah.
like, what happened? So anyway, all of a sudden, like, I'm looking at the booth. All of a sudden, I see it's that guy. I'm like, oh dang, man, I am fucked. So I pull up and I go through all this shit at the end, and he comes out at the end. And he gets that stick, and he takes it. He puts it on the seat, but he had it like tilted down. You know, he goes, "This is over." I said, "No, you have that tilted down. You're supposed to have it straight. You know, you're not doing that right. You know." He goes, "No, it's down." So I grab it, and I go, "No, you got to go like this." We're tugging on it now. So I take it, I break it, and I throw it at him. So now, all of a sudden, you hear these guys yelling, "Call the police!" And all of a sudden, the big door goes down the inspection station, and the cops come, and the guy's like flipping out. He broke my stick. He's like freaking out, you know. It's like, and the cops, they were like pretty cool. They let me go, you know. But it's like, man, I could never get my bike through again because you were yanking. I'm saying, "You're not doing it right." "Yes, I am." I said, "No, you're not." I broke it. I was like Pee Wee Herman, like, "Nah." like fuck, I was pissed off, man. You work so hard to get your bike through. You try to do the right thing, and this guy's hasn't tilted. Ah.
Now it's funny to me, from like 1900 to maybe 1940, there were great in New York artists, tremendous artwork tattooed on people. Somewhere from when the war started to the late 60s, it was just, it's a mark. It wasn't that great artwork wanted or expected. It became strictly, look what I got. That's why you see most old artists with the worst work imaginable on them, because they came from the era where it was just a tattoo.
Why do you think that was? Was it becoming more popular and more watered down at that point, or was it just?
It's hard to say, but it just amazes me. If you see some of the pictures, like I said, from 1900 to the early 40s, it seems like when the war started to after the Vietnam War, it was strictly just, I mean, you had guys doing good work, but the majority was just average, work. And then somewhere as the 70s progressed, the art in it started coming back. This is New York, American tattooing.
Yeah.
What about some of the bands that played in Asbury? Because you played in band, right?
Way before I was hanging there,
What was
though.
the name of your band?
Odin.
Odin.
Yeah.
Right.
But that was, when I was like 17. It was a long time ago.
You played harp.
Played harmonica, yeah, in that
Right.
band. Yeah.
Huh? You played with Bruce Springsteen.
When I was in that band, they opened for Bruce like a couple times, and our manager was Carl Tinker West, and Tinker was the manager for Bruce at the same time.
Right.
And he made surfboards, Challenger surfboards.
Okay.
He was like a really cool cat. He's still a good friend of mine. I think he's like 80 or something. He's a great guy, and still a real good friend.
Yeah.
I really enjoy seeing him. But the cat's been through it all. He was from California, came out here, made surfboards, was into the music scene, and started managing Bruce when Bruce was in Steel Mill, and he was managing then. And he, went to California with Bruce when he was playing all over the place, and they were like real, that was when he was young.
Right. My least favorite part of current tattooing is the egos. Everybody's a rock star. Everybody thinks they're better than everybody. Back in the day, if you asked Richie Peperato or Ernie Carafa who was the best, they would name somebody. They would say Cap Coleman's the best, or Ernie would say Richie's the best. Richie would say Ernie's the best. Today, you ask a kid who's the best, he'll say I am.
And then Tully and I, we got married on the boardwalk in Asbury.
How'd you meet Tully?
I met Tully through Scotty, Bam Bam Bigelow, Scotty.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden, we fell in love, and everything was great, and we got married, and Scotty bought her a wedding dress, gave her a credit card, and said, I don't care how much it costs, you like my first daughter getting married, as far as I'm concerned. He loved Tully, and he gave her away, walked her down.
Right.
And we got married on the boardwalk in Asbury Park. It was August 25th, 13 years ago. And no bullshit, it was like 90 degrees out. My friend JD came down and he videotaped the whole thing, right? The whole thing. We had 250 people on the boardwalk. No permits, no nothing. Had the deputy mayor marry us, right? We actually got married twice, that's another story. This was our second time we got married. So, there was no permits, no nothing. And they had like a radio show going on the boardwalk. Howard Johnson's, you know where McLuhan's Supper Club is?
Yeah.
It used to be Howard Johnson's there. So there was a radio show going on there. And the guys were like, they're asking them to turn the music down because we're having a wedding, And the guys, no, this is our radio show. Fuck that, we ain't turn it down. Scotty Bigelow goes, hey, shut the music down. They're like, Scotty Bigelow, shut it down. Everything was great. So anyway, so we get married there on the boardwalk, and we had a reception at the Stone Pony. Only wedding reception they ever had there. It was at Stone Pony. My friend Eileen managed the Stone Pony at the time. She used to manage Miss J's. So she helped us out and got it all together. We had a reception there, and my friend JD, he's taking this video, takes a video of the beach. He goes on the boardwalk, goes down to the beach, taking a video of the boardwalk and the beach. There's like 10 or 12 people on the beach. It's August 25th, 90 degrees. Nobody was in Asbury.
Right.
Now you can't even get close to the beach there. You can't park a block away.
No.
It's so different, man.
Yep.
We didn't get any permits or anything.
Yep.
Right, Tools? How crazy is that, man?
Yep. Back now.
Yeah, it's badass, man.
That's cool.
But that's when it was soulful and dirty and nobody wanted to go there. Pete, go back to LA.